Chapter 7, Classic Film. Let's get into The Graduate from 1967. This one is directed by Mike Nichols, stars Dustin Hoffman, Anne Bancroft, Catherine Ross, William Daniels, and a few others. And the synopsis is a disillusioned college graduate finds himself torn between his older lover and her daughter. So this one, of course, is iconic because of the Mrs. Robinson character, and there's the Mrs. Robinson song, and it's been referenced over and over and over again across movies and music and you name it. I didn't see this one until probably college. I had heard about it over the years, and I think its reputation in terms of this somewhat taboo affair where the young guy has the affair with this older woman while also being engaged and involved with the daughter. So it's one that, especially for the time, was very shocking, I guess, in some ways, and has had quite a shelf life over the years. So that name, Mrs. Robinson, and that storyline and concept has stuck around for sure. I have seen the movie probably 3 times now, and I like it. I think the reputation of that concept or the idea of that really overshadows the rest of the movie. It's charming, it's funny, it's got some heart, it's got some good performances, but it's not one whenever I watch it or however much I read about it, I'm in love with. I wouldn't say it's overrated, but overhyped maybe is the right word, because you hear that all the time, at least I did over the years. And then finally when I watched it, I was like, it was good. But Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft are fantastic together. And that relationship, the flirtations and back and forth and all that is really fun and charming and has that seductive quality. Now, one thing I wanted to just jump in towards the end here that I wanted to get into is the ending of the movie. So I don't really talk to many people about this movie. It's rare it comes up in conversation, but the thing I always hear about, and it's even referenced in other movies and shows and things like that, but also I remember this in film school where the ending of the movie people were torn on in terms of what it meant. My interpretation, because I think some people saw the movie's ending where Dustin Hoffman runs away with the daughter and they put the cross on the church door and they get on the bus and run away. Like, oh, what a cool, happy fantasy kind of ending to this weird love story. But for me, in terms of the camera lingering on those characters, to me, the ending is kind of sad. Because the daughter, she quit college for this relationship. She basically threw away her whole family and her support system in that way for this guy and for this relationship. Dustin Hoffman is really on his own. And so really, I think the ending moments of the movie is them realizing, all right, what are we going to do now? We just had this crazy runaway bride moment, but now we actually have to live. And I don't think even the love between them is all that strong or real, in my opinion. So I like the ending in that way because it isn't necessarily the happy-go-lucky ending that you may think it is. To me, it feels like, oh, crap, like now we actually have to come back to reality and figure out, is this going to work? Do we actually feel the way about each other that we think we do or others think we do? How are we going to live? I think Dustin Hoffman is unemployed at that point. So it's pretty in-your-face reality punch that is subtle. And I could see, because I don't think even I realized that on my first watch. I thought, oh, why do they seem sad? That's kind of weird. Like they just got away scot-free, but they really aren't. So I really like the ending. I don't know if that's something that either confuses people or is a misconception. And obviously, I'm not saying I'm completely right. That's just my interpretation of it. Otherwise, not an amazing movie. It kept my interest all the times that I've watched it, but it never really would be a best of for me or favorite list or one that I would recommend over a lot of others. It's worth watching in terms of 1960s weird romance films, but not amazing, a little underwhelming, I guess, but that ending does really work for me, like I said. So I would give it a look. It is worth watching. I think it's one of those movies that whether you like it or not, you kind of have to watch, I guess, for an understanding of film history. Like it's one of those movies that I see on movies to watch before you die and that sort of thing. So give it a look. it is worth watching. It's a good movie. I just don't think it's as amazing as its reputation makes it out to be. So that is a light 4 out of 5.